We have to talk about the real royals, Prince William. So Prince William is being praised in People magazine. They're gushing over his openness and the fact that he's unfiltered and relatable. And you guys know I've spoken about this for months. I think what people love about Catherine and William, she was open about her cancer. She was open about how, hey, I am struggling to get back to work and balance being a mom and deal with my health and show up for the people in my life. Prince William is very open about how he doesn't want the press to be able to operate in the same way they have for decades. He wants to modernize the monarchy, let people in of all different persuasions and backgrounds. And so I'm not shocked to see them praised in People magazine. I actually think it's such a shame that Harry and Meghan didn't stick it out. They didn't want to work and stick it out because the monarchy, I think, is really going to modernize with William and Catherine and enter into this new, beautiful, incredible era. But Prince William also did an interview on Apple TV with Eugene Levy for this show called The Reluctant Traveler. Now, I'm also kind of a reluctant traveler. As you guys know, I don't love to leave my house that much. I don't like to leave my house unless I'm getting paid. So I am also a reluctant traveler. But Prince William did an interview where he talked about modernizing the monarchy and raising his children. I want to play you this first clip, okay, where he talks about how things can change in the blink of an eye.
We've been very lucky. We hadn't had many illnesses in the family for a very long time. My grandparents lived to the high 90s. They were the vision of fitness and stoicism and resilience, if you like. So we've been very lucky as a family. But I think when you suddenly realise that the rug, if you were, the metaphorical rug can be pulled from under your feet quite quick at any point, you maybe think to yourself, it won't happen to us. We'll be okay. Because I think everyone has a positive outlook. You've got to be positive. But when it does happen to you, then it takes you into some pretty, not great places.
Now, this might seem small at face value, right? If you don't follow the royals very closely, you might think, okay, what's the big deal? He's talking about his family and their health scares. The royals have been so buttoned up for years, right? The Queen would very seldom speak openly about anything she had going on. Prince Philip, Charles, they just wouldn't do it, right? They would have a stiff upper lip. They really wouldn't be that open. And so when you see Prince William talking about how things change in the blink of an eye and how his wife's health was such a scare, I also think that's relatable because there's not a person on earth whose family hasn't been affected by cancer or a health scare in some way, shape, or form. There are those of you watching this who might be dealing with someone who has cancer. You might have cancer yourself. And so to see someone on the world stage be open about the fear and anxiety that comes along with that is something that is relatable. I know that's the word we're using a lot today, but it's relatable, and it's something that I think is going to help modernize the monarchy from seeming like a stiff, out of touch institution into something that more young people, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, can relate to. But I want to play you another clip from this interview where he talks about how he wants to impact people's lives for the better when he becomes king.
I want to create a world in which my son is proud of what we do, in a world and a job that actually does impact people's lives for the better. That is caveated with, I hope we don't go back to some of the practices in the past that Harry and I had to grow up in. And I will do everything I can to make sure we don't regress in that situation.
It sounds like the monarchy will be shifting in a slightly different direction.
I think it's safe to say that change is on my agenda. Change for good. And I embrace that and I enjoy that change. I don't fear it. That's the bit that excites me, is the idea of being able to bring some change.
I love this. And I also have to think that over in Montecito, those two little hucksters, Harry and Meghan, have egg on their face, right? Because part of the reason they left the royal family is, first off, they said they wanted privacy. That's not true. She's at the Balenciaga fashion show, okay? She has her whole team and she's posting in the back of the car going by Diana's crash site, unfortunately, which was disgusting. But they left the monarchy because they said, they really couldn't modernize the monarchy. It was so stiff, it wouldn't change. William seems so malleable to change. He wants to modernize the monarchy. And let's look at this last clip, okay, where he talks about being optimistic for the future and being proud of his father.
Are you optimistic?
I am optimistic. I'm generally a very optimistic person, especially when I'm with someone like you, Eugene. Life is sent to test us as well, and it definitely can be challenging at times. And being able to overcome that is what makes us who we are. I'm so proud of my wife and my father for how they've handled all of last year. My children have managed brilliantly as well.
Well, I'm hoping every other prince I run into is as nice, open, and human as you.
In Prince Harry's book Spare, he tried to paint Prince William, his brother, as this jerk, right? As this asshole, as this jerk, as this guy he couldn't get along with, pardon my French. Prince William has shown us time and time again. He understands the moment we're in our culture here in 2025, moving into 2026. He's open, he's vulnerable, he's open to change, he wants to work with other people, hear other points of view. I really think Prince Harry and Meghan Markle should have their titles stripped. One thing we didn't get in this interview, and we poured through it, okay? We poured through it like there's a Zapruder film. I did not hear a conversation about stripping Meghan and Harry of their titles. I don't think they should have their titles. They don't show up in any way for the monarchy. They don't do work. They do nothing but spread lies and gossip about their own family members. Why should they have their titles? Why should you have your title? It's like if you get divorced from someone, right? Let's say you get a divorce and then you want to keep using that last name for perpetuity. We see women who do this all the time, right? They're married to a very successful, wealthy man and then they cling to that last name in their town till the end of time. That's what Harry and Meghan are doing. They don't want to do any work for the royal family. They're persona non grata. They've done tell-all books and docuseries and interviews with Oprah, airing out their family's dirty laundry, talking about Catherine in the book, talking about a fight with Prince William in Harry's book. Who does that? I'm just sitting here thinking right now, who does that to their family? If I had a full-out brawl with my brother, who I love dearly, would I come on the internet and talk about it? I'm not a Kardashian. This isn't Bad Girls Club. This isn't Real Housewives. But for Meghan Markle, who grew up in that Hollywood world, everything is up for consumption. Everything is up for consumption. She grew up on Real Housewives. She grew up wanting to be a celebrity on the casting couch. And so for her, there is no separation of church and state, right? If you have a fight with your brother, Prince William, Harry is going to put it in the book to make a couple of extra bucks. If you have a fight or a private conversation, we're going to talk about it on Oprah. We're going to talk about it on Netflix. We might just make something up. I couldn't imagine, and you guys drop a comment and tell me if you agree, because of course we'll never be royalty, right? But I'm thinking, how does this affect us in our own lives? If you had an argument with a family member, could you imagine even going on Facebook and posting about it? Could you imagine going out there and broadcasting it? Something should be private. And so shame on Harry and Meghan. I love Prince William. I love this new side we're seeing to him. And I think he's going to step into his role more as king, unfortunately, as Charles gets older and declines before our eyes, which is sad. But I think it is time for another generation. Now, to talk about my favorite royal, okay, we have to talk about Catherine, the Princess of Wales. So Catherine, the Princess of Wales, recently, she met with personnel and their families at the Royal Air Force Base Coningsby on Thursday. The base is home to one of the RAF's quick reaction alert teams, standing ready 24/7 to protect the UK airspace. Now, for those of you who are obsessed with the fashion, okay, we will break down the fashion, okay? I'm like the Joan Rivers of the royals in politics. So she wore another gray power suit by one of her favorite British brands, Bella Freud Earl Jacket and Prince of Wales check, a Bella Freud schoolboy trouser and Prince of Wales check, very interesting, seeing how she's married to the Prince of Wales. She wore Alexander McQueen gray fine ribbed knit top and John Vito Rossi John Vito 85 pumps in navy suede. Now, can most people out there probably afford this outfit? No. But she looks classic. She looks chic. At least she's not walking around in like a white towel. Okay, like Meghan Markle at the Balenciaga fashion show. At least she looks like someone who is going to be queen someday. She's out getting it done and showing up for people like a modern woman. So shout out to Catherine. I'm so happy that she's healthy. I'm happy she's doing great. I'm happy she's in recovery, that she's in remission and she's there and she's showing up for all of her obligations, because that's what it means, right? If you're going to be king and queen someday, you don't get to call in sick. You don't get to call in sick. It's like when you're the president, you got to show up every single day for all of her obligations. And so shout out to Catherine for doing that. We're so happy she's in great shape. It's a shame those folks in California want to drive a wedge between the family and continue spewing lies and gossip and trying to cash in on the fact that they were only, married 18 months while they were in the royal family in the UK. It's disgusting. But we love Catherine. I think people are going to continue to see more sides of her. She's also someone who's open to being vulnerable, to sharing her own personal experiences with cancer and her health scares and her parenting struggles. These are things you never would have seen from the Queen Elizabeth II. You would have never seen this from Charles. But this next generation is going to be more open than ever. So we love you, Catherine. We love you, William. I've got to share something that seriously upgraded my life. My Aurora Luxe mattress from Brooklyn Bedding. Sleep is everything when you're juggling a million things, and this mattress has been a total game changer. It's handcrafted in their US factory with top-notch quality. Their top-of-the-line cooling cover technology keeps me cool all night, and my back feels amazing. It's no wonder it's endorsed by the American Chiropractic Association for spinal support. Their sleep quiz helped me find the perfect fit in minutes, and now I'm sleeping better and waking up energized. Go to brooklynbedding.com and use my promo code LINK at checkout to get 30% off the whole site. This offer is not available anywhere else. That's brooklynbedding.com, promo code LINK for 30% off site-wide, and be sure to tell them that we sent you.